Congratulations on purchasing your Accuhorsemat. We're going to walk you through instructions so you're comfortable the very first time you're putting it on your horse. So this is your Accuhorsemat case. All 3 mats and the blanket are inside. And to get started, we always recommend that you start with putting it on your horse one piece at a time the first time and until your horse is comfortable. Once your horse is comfortable, it's an easier process and you can put the whole blanket on at once. But to get started, this is the hindquarters mat, and we recommend that you start with just putting this mat on first and see how your horse reacts. So you can see that along the middle there are no rosettes. That's what you want to be along the spine. And then you're going to place the back end of it just above the tail. So you lift it up very gently and line that up, and then just lay down one side at a time. Again, gently. And you can apply a little pressure just to help it lay flat that first time. And the first time that you take it out of the bag, it may be a little bit poofy and stick up, and that's okay. It will relax with use, and then once you put the blanket on. And then you can just check your alignment and make sure that the blanket is on straight. If you need to adjust, you want to just lift carefully and place it back down. You want to make sure you don't pull it across your horse's skin. Okay? And ideally, you put this on and wait a couple of minutes to see how your horse reacts. Some horses are fine with this the very first time. Some horses you need to just put on the hindquarter mat for the first couple of uses until they're really comfortable with the acupressure mat. So as you can see, when properly placed, the hindquarter mat is lined up right along the spine, again starting just above the tail, and then there are no rosette points along the spine. So the next step is to take the blanket, fold it in half so that you have this T shape, which is where the Velcro goes onto the hindquarter mat. And then you place this over your horse, just like a regular blanket. And then you would fasten the front closure buckles. Just to hold that in place. And then you want to lift the blanket back over so that the Velcro strip along the back is lined up with the Velcro strip along the spine. And then just smooth that down. And again, see how your horse is reacting and make sure that they're still comfortable with that additional pressure that you've got that you're putting on the hindquarter mat. If your horse seems comfortable, then you can go ahead and fasten these straps, which you can do in a cross pattern or straight across, whichever you prefer. And you can adjust the straps, right, depending on how this is fitting your horse. And once they're used to it, you can tighten them up a little bit, which will put a little bit more pressure on the hindquarters and on that acupressure mat underneath. So again, monitor, see how your horse is doing, see if they're comfortable. Once they're comfortable, you're ready to move on to the next step. So the kit comes with 2 shoulder mats that also go inside the blanket. And once your horse is comfortable, then it's time to move on to adding the shoulder mats. So you simply unstrap. And fold the blanket back. And as you can see, the Velcro strip is longer than the mat so that you have opportunity to place the mat where it's the best fit for your horse. So ideally to start, you want to place it higher up because you want to have more of that pressure up here in the withers. But again, once you see how the mat fits, the whole blanket kit fits your horse, you can determine what the appropriate placement is. Okay, so then you take the second mat, place it on the other side in the same way. Then you just lift gently and pull the whole blanket up. Smooth that down. And then fasten. And again, you've got opportunity here with these straps to add more pressure or get a tighter fit, depending on how the blanket is fitting your horse. And it's normal for your horse to kind of wake up a little bit there and feel that reaction, right? You get the shoulder mats on and they're feeling some additional stimulation. So this is a great time to just pause and relax and watch and monitor how your horse is doing and make sure that they're comfortable. And you can, once they're used to it, you can tighten up the pressure here a bit more. You can determine what's the best placement for your horse for these shoulder mats. So once your horse is used to wearing the Accuhorsemat, you can leave the blanket and all 3 mats attached to the blanket and put the whole thing on at once. So carefully and simply lift the whole blanket over. Carefully lay the shoulder mats down. And then strap the front. And then carefully lift the whole blanket with the mat attached back over the hindquarters of your horse. Make sure everything is aligned and smoothed down. Fasten your straps, and your horse is ready to enjoy his Accuhorsemat. So ideally, you want to leave the blanket on a minimum of 15 minutes. You get the full effect of the increase in the blood flow in 15 minutes. But it depends on your horse. The first time they're using it, they might only be able to wear it for 5 minutes before they get a little bit antsy. They may be good with 10 minutes. A lot of horses are really happy with it the very first time. And what you typically see is what you're seeing here with Summer, where she's licking and chewing and relaxing. So again, once your horse is used to it, at least 15 minutes. You can leave it on longer than that. A lot of our riders leave it on for 30 to 45 minutes. It depends on your horse and your routine. So when you're finished with your Accuhorsemat treatment, you simply reverse that process. So you start with unstrapping the shoulder. And then you want to unstrap your blanket. And then what's important is that you want to lift the blanket with the acupressure mat underneath it forward. You don't want to just pull that off your horse. You might startle them with scraping that across their skin. So you want to gently lift this up and fold it forward, and then lift up and pull the whole blanket off. The Accuhorsemat helps increase circulation in your horse, so it helps take more oxygen to the muscles so that they can relax and recover faster. It actually helps release endorphins into the system, so it can help to minimize pain and help your horse to mentally relax. All of those things work together so that your horse is more comfortable, it's freer in their movement, their muscles are more supple, so they're able to go out and have a great performance and actually minimize the risk of injury as well because they're warmed up, loosened up.